really just wanted to take the time to document the fact that I had such a liberating thought right now that I can't even begin to explain it. I feel like I just solved my own problem, honestly. So just to, put it out there, I've been having this strong desire, to be a motivational speaker or, I mean, honestly, I don't even want to really put myself in that box. Honestly, I don't want to put myself in that box. I don't even want to be a motivational speaker. Maybe that's not what I want to be at all. Maybe what I just want to do is share my experiences and share my journey, you know, share my journey. I mean, sometimes I get the impression that sometimes people who do motivational speaking, provide a lot of information, you know, in the context of an evolved place, you know, like almost like, hey, this is where I've arrived and now I want to share what I did to get here and you can be here too. You know what I'm saying? You can be here too. And I think that what I want to do and focus on, like what I think will make me different or not different, just unique. The perspective that I want to come from is that I am not there. I'm just simply not there, but I'm on my way. I am definitely on my way. I am at a place where I've like really noted some serious growth in my life and, you know, just being much more conscientious about, the path that I've taken to get to this point. You know what I mean? And it's just, when I really stop and be present, I really just, it's mind blowing to me. And I'm just incredibly grateful and humbled for being here. I am. I just, there's no place I'd rather be at this moment in my life, in my existence, but here. And when I say here, I mean here with the struggle. I mean here with the tears. I mean here with the raw emotions of life. I mean here as in I'm not sure today, as in, maybe tomorrow will be better, and tomorrow is better. Today is great. I mean, I think that life is such a learning experience. And I cannot see how I could ever stop learning things that I didn't know. You know, I'm not a fixed person at all. You know, and the older I get, the more I've continued to discover about myself that I just never knew before. It's really mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I feel like I've just been extremely fortunate to receive information and be receptive to it and be open to changing my mind and be open to growing from my experiences, growing from my discomfort, growing from my failures, you know. And I honestly can't even get even caught up on, what some people may deem as failures or setbacks because each of those really difficult situations helped me catapult to another level, a deeper, more solid understanding of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to just trip and fall into enlightenment. I want to know that I'm walking, with source and that I'm walking towards something on purpose, not like I'm stumbling around and, oh my God, I can't believe, now that I understand, the power of harnessing the intuition and the gifts that we're born with, like now I know how to use it. I'm getting a lot more familiar with how this thing actually works and how to recognize and really being tuned in to, what I'm supposed to learn in the areas that I'm supposed to grow. You know, I I never intended to, say, hey, all my life I knew I was gonna just grow. I almost kind of feel like that I spent a lot of my life going along with the flow, just kind of going with things, and each day I'm just like, being robotic and going on about my daily life. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go home. I'm, without really delving deep and really just experiencing the juiciness of this existence, the juiciness of living on this plane, you know. It's just an amazing experience. And like I said, I've discovered so many things about myself that's just mind blowing. And I almost feel like, dang, I'm so glad I didn't miss this. I'm so glad I didn't miss the consciousness that would, give me a sense of so much purpose and so much, passion and enthusiasm for changing and growing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to get to this point alone was such a struggle. Like, I don't know. It was one of those things where I kept contemplating. Oh, I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna share. You know what I'm saying? And then I would kind of cower out of it, and like, I'm just gonna write something very thoughtful. And then I had the nerve to be writing stuff and not even sharing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It almost seemed like a progression. Like, I thought it, then I thought it and wrote it, and eventually I'm like, I need to evolve to sharing. I need to talk this out. I'm getting some good information here, and I think that, first of all, today was, I think, a little bit different than the rest because, previously when I thought about sharing and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, but there's so many people that's sharing. There's so many, like, and I'll just say motivational speakers to just kind of, uh, capture the group that I'm talking. Oh, there's so many people out there. We got all these different people, and they're sharing already. It's just really enough. And then I'm like, I don't have to look at myself by comparison to anybody else. I don't have to compare what I have to say to anybody else. I don't have to even think about that. That's not even a real thing. You know what I mean? Because honestly, like, is there one doctor in the world? No. One type of healer? No. There are so many different people that are not in competition with one another, but they are a part of a network of healers and, and truth sayers and, just amazing people who, find value in what they have to offer. And, I'm honored to be what I consider a part of that community, whether I was sharing at the time or not. I felt like this is a network. This is really group effort, you know? And then, sometimes when I watch different videos, I get the gist that, or, like, maybe, you have to discover your niche. And I'm like, oh, my niche, what's my niche? And then, what am I going to be? What's going to be my angle? And I'm like, well, I don't have an angle. I have so many different things I think about and so many different things that I'd like to share that I don't want to have to really limit it to one type of thing. Like, oh, hey, I'm going to tell you about your marriage, or hey, I'm going to tell you about health, or hey, like, I don't have a specific, thing. I just get divine inspiration to share all kinds of stuff. And I think that, the fact that I am who um, I am my own niche. Nobody's story is the same. Everybody offers a different perspective. Everybody, interprets their own experiences in this life. They interpret it differently. And I think that's the beauty in the variety of information that you get in the variety of different people that's delivering it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I know that at one point, I would hear something from my parents and I'd be like, I'm not listening to that. That's crazy. And then I would hear it from a different perspective, a deeper perspective, or just another source that's giving me, or like tailoring the information a little bit better to how I process it. And then I'd be like, oh, aha, that's what that means. You know what I mean? Or even being able to process and interpret my parents' intentions for certain things that they told me. Like, I've even taken time to think about that. And I think that all of the different ways that I process information and I learn things, basically is space for me. That's what it really boils down to. I had to come to the conclusion that there is space for me, and I can get out there and be bold and courageous, and I can tell my truth, and I don't have to be afraid of what people will think. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be, you know, I have that levitating. I don't have to levitate in order to share. I don't have to, turn water into wine in order for what I'm saying to be valuable, or that's the validation. Like, look at this miracle. I can just share, and if it doesn't apply, let it fly. So basically, whoever I speak to, you'll hear me, or you might not need to hear me. And you know what? That's okay too. That's okay too. I'm only speaking to the people who need it. Just like I said, it's just it's just an amazing experience to appreciate abundance and expansion and reaching a deeper level of understanding. It's obvious that I felt passionate enough to get on here and even share because, you know, back in January when we had that missile scare, the missile crisis, when they said, hey, batten down the hatches, there's a missile headed to Hawaii, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I just felt like somebody gripped my heart and just held it there. And like, I just felt, it was just such a incredibly alarming moment. It was such an alarming moment. I don't want to say terrifying because I don't know if I was really scared as much as I was just very alarmed. I was all frantic-y because Nair had just left the house. That's, my oldest son. He had to go to the school for something. And I called him immediately and I was just like, nah, where are you? Get to safety. And he asked to go to the school because his high school was actually a emergency shelter. It's like the place they open up if something like this should happen. So I'm like, just get there and stay there. Don't risk it trying to come back home. I mean, as much as I would have loved for him to be here with me, I would have been like devastated if something really happened and he weren't home and we weren't together, because everybody else was here. But I also knew that, he might not have been able to make it back from where he was to here. If he was closer to the school, go to the school. And he was even like somebody's dad was going, no, do not go with anybody's person. Go to the school and stay there. It was just incredibly alarming. Anyway, so after I talked to him and I was kind of, fairly confident that he would be, to the school and I mean, it's, obviously nothing I could really do about it at that point. But, the minute I knew that he was good, I started thinking about my family and my friends and how I knew that I had been, essentially steeping all of these feelings about wanting to share and steeping all of these emotions and I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I would love to share this with somebody, but I don't know how. And so once I felt like, holy crap, this is the end, I was like, oh goodness, this is crazy. The first thing I did was grab my phone and stumble through going live on Facebook because I typically don't go live for anything. I'm always like, oh no, I'm just gonna live in this moment. I'm not gonna go live. But I went live awkwardly on Facebook with my heart beating out of my chest, something crazy like, oh God, I have so many things to say that I don't even know how to cram it into the little bit of time I think I have left. So I just got on there and started telling people what I thought. I'm like, hey, they just, said there was a missile on its way here, and we don't know what's going to happen, but I just wanted to let y'all know, to live your best life. And I'm like going all this, if you have a dream, follow the dream. I'm like just spilling out everything I can in such a short amount of time. You know what I mean? And I just was like, that was really significant because I could have been crying on the floor. I could have been, I don't know, on my knees praying. I could have been doing anything. I don't know. As a human, I could have responded any kind of way. Nobody's ever really prepped me for that kind of experience. But I found myself like, I need to say this, And then I also thought that even though I'm not friends on Facebook with everybody in my life that's important, I was like, well, at least they would have access to me kind of saying my last goodbyes because I know there's no way in hell I could possibly call all the people I love and care about. And, to think about doing that to my mother in real time was just like, it was crushing. I was like, I can't even do this to her. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was going to happen. And I was just like, I can't, put her through the agony of being on the phone with me while I'm saying, Mom, there's a missile coming. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Something about that just felt wrong. So I felt like if something happened, then, she would be able to see it that I was thinking about, my family, because I definitely addressed it to my family and my friends. And it's like, hey, everybody, I love y'all, and if I don't make it out alive, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So for me, that was pretty significant. And, I didn't, obviously, and then I just want to take one time to shout out my girl from GHS, Tanya Moore. This, my baby called me up. We don't talk, we haven't talked in years. You know what I mean? We haven't seen each other in years. Of course, we're friends on Facebook, but we hadn't really corresponded, and for her to like reach out to me and like call my number, like I was just like, oh my God, this is after things were kind of settling down. And I was just like telling her, it's kind of spilling out everything. Oh my God, I was stressed that I was doing this, and I was like, but and I'm telling her I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna jump on, and then after it was over, and I felt this fire, I'm like, I'm motivated. I'm sharing, and then I just cowered back. I was just anxiety got the best of me. I started doubting myself again, doing all of this extra stuff like, oh no, next week I'm gonna wait until my makeup is right. That's what you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wait until I get to the beach. You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to make sure that I blah blah, and I'm just like putting stipulation on top of stipulation on top. I'm just pushing it back. Basically, I was just setting myself up by procrastinating. I just procrastinated my whole ass off. It was blatant and obvious. And then I spent the next several months distracting myself with anything else other than what I felt like I needed to do. I just all kind of stuff I was undertaking, all very, very, very valuable projects I've been working on. They're all very, very important projects. You know what I mean? All things that I believe in. It's not like I spent the next month, binge watching on Netflix. I spent it really being productive, connecting with people, getting different experiences, and obviously doing more reflecting. Um, but then today, I don't know. I don't really know what was different about today. Today felt a little bit like I gave myself permission. And I think that especially based off of the things that I've been doing with myself, like little projects and little homework I've been giving myself to improve and grow and stuff like that. And I've been doing a great job. Today, I think I finally, not only did I give myself permission to share, permission to talk, permission to take space and be here, permission to, share what I can only describe as just out of this world, divine, like it doesn't need to be explained. It's I gave myself permission, and then I proceeded to make some really awesome, um, you know, affirmation cards that, as shameful as it sounds, I actually had these something on my to-do list to do these cards since I want to say November. I want to say 2017. That's really pathetic. And I'm not down to myself. I'm just saying, like, holy crap, Sabrina, really? Like, come on, And I don't know. And then I guess even when I'm thinking about it, I'm almost like, I had to get to this point. So even in me trying to like, not like shame myself, but kind of be like, oh, Sabrina, reprimand. I just forgave myself for it, and I did them. So, like I said, today was different, and I decided I'm done hiding. I'm done running. I'm done. I am 100% done. So, on that note, I'm going to wrap this up. I've talked for almost 20 minutes now when I didn't even intend to talk this long. But, yeah, I hope that this is the beginning of something way bigger than me, uh, because I really just believe I'm only a vessel. I'm only here to carry out something, like I said, bigger than myself, greater than me as an individual. So I hope you appreciate things I share, and hopefully it helps you in some way, shape, or form. Of course, I'm eternally grateful for our ancestors, their presence, their guidance, the wisdom, the comfort, the courage. I could just really go on and on, but I'm extremely grateful, and yeah, I hope to be in touch soon.